Hi everyone. Welcome to another Monday Musing. Today I am going to talk about cats. Like actual cats, not the musical. Donna and I have a cat. Her name is Kia. We named her that because that's where we found her. She was a tiny, tiny kitten, maybe 4 or 6 weeks old, and had found her way up under the hood of our car, a Kia Forte. We knew she was there because we could hear her tiny little cries. It was a really windy and cold week in Tucson in December back in, I think, 2012. And every time we tried to get her out, though, she would jump down to the ground and skitter away. We wouldn't be able to catch her. But sure enough, an hour later, she'd be back under the hood of the car with her little tiny cries. And not wanting to hurt the little thing, we just decided to go down to one car that week because I certainly did not want to start the engine of our car with a cat up in it. And then one day we didn't hear her anymore, and so I said to Donna, I'm just going to look under the hood of this car just in case. And there she was, and I was actually able to grab her this time. That car was also a Kia Spectra. So that day we went to from a 2 Kia to a 3 Kia household. Kia is an indoor cat. She doesn't even try to get out. It might be a primitive memory of being stranded outside. She also doesn't like to be handled. Otherwise, I would pick her up and show her to you. She's just hanging out on the floor under my chair, which is what she does all day when I'm working. Now, our neighbors also have cats. They are definitely not indoor cats. There are 4 of them who roam the neighborhood, including our yard. Now, when this family first moved into the neighborhood and started collecting cats, all of who are appropriately tagged, I really let it get to me. It was at the time where we were at the height of pretending that we could have a garden and grow anything besides rosemary, which, by the way, pretty much grows by itself in Tucson. And I would look out the window at one of the cats playfully rearranging some of the plants in the raised garden bed. Now, if the window were open, I'd yell and I'd scream, and it would just kind of look at me curiously, as if I were a zoo animal that it had never seen before, which, of course, would just make me more angry. If the window were not open, I would bang on it and make all sorts of terrible noise, and sometimes it would get the cat's attention, and maybe it would even run away for a moment, but invariably it would come right back, and at the end, I've now just scared Donna with no appreciable outcome. Sometimes the cats will walk or run on our roof, so in the middle of the night, I would be convinced that our house was under siege by invaders. Never mind that the footsteps were clearly made by like a 10-pound creature and not by a fully grown human. It got so bad that I started researching what cats hate, which led to me sprinkling cayenne pepper along the borders of the entire raised garden bed that we had. And that didn't work. So then, picture this. I would sit in the backyard with the hose, nozzle at the ready, waiting for a cat to come into the yard so I could spray it. As if a little spray of water is going to get them to give up what had become an oasis, right? It's like the perfect yard for them. It's got shady citrus trees, we don't have any dogs, and it's got these giant raised garden beds, which, let's be honest, to a cat pretty much just looks like a giant litter box. In the years that have passed since my attempts at dousing the cats with water with the garden hose, we have come to accept them as a part of our circle. We've given them names: Grumpy Cat, Big Tail, New Fluff, and Cameo. Cameo actually hasn't made an appearance in a while, so we're concerned that maybe Cameo has fallen prey to life outdoors. We talk to them. We make sure that they're not under the cars when we leave, and we have a relatively peaceful coexistence. Today I went outside to stare at the mountains, trying to find some inspiration for my Monday musing. I started to type, deleted it, looked up at the mountains, started again, deleted it, looked up. And then on my third try, I looked up at the mountains, and sitting there on our brick wall was New Fluff. stretched out in the sunbeam, looking as content as could be. There are some things that we just can't control. And some, I suppose the War of the Cats falls into this category, that we probably could control if we tried hard enough, but they're just not worth it. I spent so many years angry about these cats, raising my blood pressure for nothing, and even if I had been successful, would have done so only to protect a garden that was already doomed. I think this is one of the things that our extended cat family has helped me get better at. Understanding when something is really out of our control, or that trying to control it is just not worth it. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to try to control the things that I can, especially when it's really important, right? But not expending energy on the battles not worth fighting allows me to focus that energy much more on the things that are more important and where my efforts will pay off. What are your battles not worth fighting? What might be your War of the Cats? And where else might you be able to focus that energy if you give up trying to control the uncontrollable? That's it for today, folks. Have a great week.